Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Gmsyahawashitherighteous, Gmsyahawashitherighteous. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim preaching this word in truth and sincerity and in faith. I'm the brother Yeshaya from the GMS Plaintables camp out here in Philadelphia. And I just wanted to do a quick lesson in the Ruach Kodash and the Holy Spirit about brothers resisting temptation when they're tempted. And I wanted to read the definition for temptation real quick. It has, for the definition, it has the desire to do something, especially something wrong or unwise. And it also has a thing or course of action that attracts or tempts someone. Yeah, so when you're tempted, you have to resist that temptation. And the first precept that I have is in Ecclesiasticus. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." Yeah, so when you come in this truth, you come in this faith, you know that you're going to be tempted and you have to prepare yourself for that. You have to be ready for that. You can't expect that, oh, when you come in this truth, it's going to be smooth sailing. No temptation is going to come upon you. No hard times are going to come upon you. No affliction is going to come upon you. Verse 2, it says, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble." Yeah, so you have to endure the hard times, the hardships, losing your job. Okay, your car might mess up, your woman might leave you, all types of trouble. You might get locked up or any type of situation. You have to make your heart aright. So prepare yourself and endure when those troubles come upon you. Verse 3, it says, "Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." It says, verse 4, it says, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully." Yeah, so you have to take it cheerfully, knowing this is the requirement to enter into the kingdom. Like it says in Acts 14 and 22, that through much tribulation must we enter into the kingdom of heaven. You know this is a requirement. You know you have to go through it. And you know that Yahweh Shai went through it. So you have to go through it. You should consider it an honor, a blessing, really. It says, "And be patient when thou art changed to a low estate." It says, verse 5, "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." Yeah, it says acceptable men. Righteous men are tried in the furnace of adversity. So if you're an acceptable man, you're going to go through adversity. You're going to be tried through that fire. This is Luke. This is Luke chapter 22, verse 31. It says, "And the Lord said," this is Yahweh Shai speaking, "And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat." Yeah, so Satan was trying to overthrow Peter's faith, was trying to agitate him. I'm going to look up that word for sift in verse 31. And for the word sift, it has siniazo, which means inward agitation, to try one's faith to the verge of overthrow. So Satan was trying to overthrow Peter's faith through agitation. Probably all manner of thoughts was coming into his head, thinking all types of wicked thoughts, trying to overthrow his faith. And it happens to a lot of brothers all the time. So you have to be ready for that. The next precept I have is Genesis chapter 22. Verse 1, it says, "And it came to pass after these things that the Most High did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am." Yeah, so the Most High was tempting Abraham. I'm going to look up that word for tempt real quick. Genesis 22 and 1. For the word tempt, it has the Hebrew word nasa, which means to test, to try, to prove. So the Most High was proving Abraham. He was trying him. He was testing him. So we know in his faith that the Most High is going to test us. He's going to try us. He's going to prove our faith. All right. Verse 2, it says, "And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him therefore a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of." Yeah, so the Most High was asking Abraham to sacrifice his only son, okay, the son that he loved the most, Isaac. He was testing him to see if he was going to if he was going to obey his command, like it says in 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 23, that disobedience is as a sin of witchcraft. Okay, so the Most High was testing his faith, whether he was going to trust in the Most High or whether he was going to trust in his own self, saying his reaction might have been, oh, this is my only son. Why would the Most High ask me to sacrifice him? The Most High wouldn't ask me to do something like that, or I don't got to listen to that command. But no, I'm going to skip down to verse 7. It says, and Isaac spake unto Abraham his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am, my son. And he said, behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? Yeah, so Abraham was taking Isaac to go and offer him. And Isaac was like, what are we going to sacrifice? We don't have no animal to sacrifice with us. Verse 8, it says, and Abraham said, my son, the Most High will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together, and they came to the place which the Most High had told him of. And Abraham built the altar there and laid the wood in order and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. So Abraham was getting ready to do what the Most High commanded him to, basically passing that test of faith, passing that temptation. Because he could have been tempted to think, oh, no, I'm not about to do this. Most of us would be. It says, verse 11, it says, and the angel of Yahweh called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, here I am. And he said, lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest the Most High, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. Yeah, so Abraham, willing to sacrifice his son, he was able to pass that test of faith. He was able to overcome that temptation. All right. This is This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. It says, there hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. Yeah, so the scripture is telling you here that any temptation that could come upon you, it's coming upon all men, all the brothers that are in this faith and this truth. You're not the only one going through this. So it's common. It says, but the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So the Most High is always going to give you that way to escape that temptation, to resist that temptation, to fight that temptation. He's going to give you the strength as long as you have faith. Yeah, and it also said that he's not going to suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. So he's only going to give you, as much as you can handle. The Most High knows how much you can handle, and he's only going to put on you as much as you can handle as long as you have that faith in the Most High. You'll always be able to overcome. This is 1 Peter 5 and 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Yeah, so the devil is walking around seeing who he can tempt. The same way he tried to agitate Peter to overthrow his faith. He's seeing whose faith can he overthrow. So he's going to throw all types of temptations on brothers to try to overthrow their faith, to try to get you out of this truth, out of serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So you have to be sober, you have to be vigilant, you have to keep watching, constantly examine yourself. This is Ephesians. This is Ephesians 4, verse 27. It says, neither give place to the devil. So you can't give place to the devil when you're giving into your temptations, into your desires, your lust, your wickedness, your wicked mind, the wicked lust and the desires that you have. You're giving place unto the devil. It says, verse 28 says, let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth. Yeah, so you're supposed to turn back from your wicked ways. Anything that's wrong, that's considered sin, you're not supposed to be doing that, or you're going to give place to the devil, and wickedness is going to basically overtake you and consume you and devour you. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 18 verse 30. It says, go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetites. Yeah, you're not supposed to be going after your lust, your different desires, no matter what it is. It says, refrain thyself from thine appetites. It says, verse 31, it says, if thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee. Yeah, you're going to be a laughing stock to your enemies, because when you're consumed by your lust and your different desires, it's going to consume you, and it's going to make you a laughing stock. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 37, verse 27. It says, my son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. Yeah, so whatever is evil to your soul, you're not supposed to give it to it. A brother might have a gambling problem, whatever issue he has. He might have a problem with dealing with women. You're not supposed to give, or alcohol. He might have a drinking problem. You're not supposed to give that to yourself. Yeah, it's lawful to drink, but if you have a drinking problem where you're consuming too much alcohol, or when you do consume alcohol, you're doing you're doing things that you're not supposed to, that's not beneficial for you. You're not supposed to give that to yourself. It says, for all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure in everything. Yeah, so not everything is profitable for every man. One thing might be profitable for one man, but another thing isn't profitable for the other man, for another man. So you have to look within yourself what's right for your soul, as long as it's lawful. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12. It says, all things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. Yeah, so there's plenty of things that are lawful, but it's not necessarily good for that specific individual. Like the example that I gave, somebody who's prone to being an alcoholic, it's not good for that brother to drink. Or somebody who's just is a sexual deviant, you know, getting all types of, you know, like in that R. Kelly spirit. You're not supposed to, you got to refrain yourself from women as best as you can, or just doing all types of sexual deviancy. You got to find out what's right for your soul and what you have to hold back from yourself. It says, all things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. Yeah, so you can't let that lawful thing, that lawful act control you. You might love to eat. It's lawful to eat food, but if you're a glutton, you're destroying your body by overeating, over consuming food. You gotta be temperate. You gotta control your desires. It says in Ecclesiasticus, the 18th chapter, it says, refrain from thy lust. You have to refrain from that. This is Mark chapter 14. Verse 38, it says, watch ye and pray, lest ye enter into temptation. The spirit truly is ready, but the flesh is weak. Yeah, our spirit is ready. Our spirit wants to serve Gmsyahawashitherighteous to the best of our ability, but our flesh is weak. We know our flesh is going to, at certain times, our flesh is going to give in to temptation at certain times. That's why it says, watch ye and pray. That's why brothers have to constantly pray to Gmsyahawashitherighteous to give us the strength to overcome these temptations. Galatians 5:17, it says, for the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. So your flesh This sinful flesh is lusting against it. It's fighting against your spirit. Your spirit wants to do what's right, but the flesh wants to do what's wrong. And they're fighting against each other. It says, and these are contrary one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. So yeah, so the righteous things that you want to do, you're gonna have a hard time doing them, because your flesh is fighting against your spirit to make you go off, to make you do what's wrong. In verse 18, it says, but if ye be led of this, yeah, that was it. This is Romans 7 and 14. It says, for we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that do I. Yeah, so the things we want to do that are righteous, the righteous deeds that we want to do, our flesh is making us not do them, making us, lazy, procrastinating. Whether it comes to doing the work, it's making you, do things that aren't expedient to do, that aren't good for you to do. It says, verse 16, it says, if then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now then it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. Yeah, so sin is in you. So with sin being in you, you're gonna have those temptations. You're gonna have those trials of your will, of your strength. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. Yeah, because this flesh is wicked. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good, I find not. Yeah, so Paul is saying that he has the will to do good, but he doesn't have the strength to do it. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Yeah, so the good things he desires to do, he doesn't do them. And the evil things he doesn't want to do, he does them because of the flesh, the sinful flesh. It says, verse 20, it says, now if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. It says, I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. So evil is always going to be present with you when you're walking in this faith. Satan is always going to be getting in your mind, getting in your head, putting all types of wicked thoughts in your head every day, every single day. And that's why you have to fight. You have to fight Satan. And this is the way that you fight Satan. This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. It says, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Yeah, that's how you are able to fight those temptations, fight those wicked thoughts that Satan's constantly putting in your head, by putting on the whole armor of the Most High. Verse 12 says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Verse 13, it says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. It says, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, above all taking the shield of faith. Yeah, so you have to have faith in this thing. You have to have faith in the Most High. That's how you're able to overcome the devil. That's how you're able to overcome Satan, by having faith. It says, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. It says, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. Yeah, so the sword of the Spirit is the word of the Most High. So you have to take on these words. You have to embody these words. You have to live these words each and every day. That's how you're able to overcome, walking in a righteous spirit each and every day. All right, this is the last scripture. This is James chapter 1. James chapter 1, verse 12. It says, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Yeah, so blessed is he that endureth temptation. So if you endure temptation, the Most High is going to bless you. And overall, in the end, he's going to give you a crown of life, which he's promised to all. It says, which he promised to them that love him. So if you endure the temptation that comes upon you, the Most High is going to give you a crown of life. So it's important for brothers to keep fighting and resisting the devil, fighting the temptation that comes upon us. So I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rahak. Again, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim, preaching his word in truth and sincerity. Shalom.